Well, thank you. Mr. Herrick, first, I think you are absolutely right. The environmentalists have devastated the environment of our rivers, and I might add of our forests as well. Just look what they've done at the Klamath. One farmer up there recently observed that there's not a single living creature left in the Klamath River in the wake of the dam destruction up there. He said there's no fish, no turtles, no nothing. It's dead. And then in severe droughts, they routinely require pulse flows, releases of huge amounts of cold water for the sake of the fish. A salmon biologist told me no salmon in its right mind is going to enter a river in a drought. The water's too warm and there's not enough of it. So by doing these huge cold water releases in the middle of a drought, you're tricking the salmon into doing something their own survival instinct is begging them not to do, and it never ends well for them. In fact, dams protect riparian habitats from the environmental ravages of both droughts and floods. And as my colleagues pointed out, we've squandered hundreds of billions of dollars making the environmental situation worse without doing a damn thing to maintain the fish populations. Is there anything else you'd like to add to that observation you made?
Well, I would just agree with it. And again, I'm not a fish advocate, but I've been in all the hearings for the state board for the Bay Delta programs, and it's a virtually useless process if one side is not attackable.
Well, they're ideological zealots. They pay no attention to the public. They pay no attention to the science. They are following a weird kind of religion that has no foundation in science, no foundation in reality, but it makes them feel good for some reason. And certainly that's true of the state board. And that's where, Ms. Lucas, I'd need to push back a little on one observation you made. You keep mentioning unelected bureaucrats being at the heart of the problem. I don't think that is the heart of the problem. We need to remember that every one of those unelected bureaucrats are either appointed by or hired by elected officials who are supposed to be accountable to us. The problem is we don't hold them accountable. I mean, the State Water Resources Control Board is entirely appointed by Governor Newsom. So really, this is a nature versus Newsom debate, and the fault is not with nature. Right now, the State Water Resources Control Board is considering this draconian reduction in water distributed to residential customers now. You're about to have an awful lot of company. The only way they're going to, even in flood years, it doesn't matter of the reality of the situation. This is something that makes them feel good. And the only way I can think of for a water agency to do that is to levy cost-prohibitive fines or to jack up the price of water to the point where it's unaffordable in a state that already bears one of the heaviest costs of water in the country, despite the fact we're one of the most water-rich regions of the country. So I guess I have to get back to a simple point, and that is the fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars, but in ourselves, that we are underlings. We, the voters, have allowed this to happen. As I said, this is not nature's fault. This is a choice that we made when we elected these imbeciles. Any thoughts?
Right. Without agreeing to some of your personal observations, I would say you make a very valid point. These unelected bureaucrats are accountable to somebody. And with respect to the Water Board, it is Governor Newsom. And with respect to those in charge of National Marine Fisheries Service under NOAA and U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, it is currently the Biden-Harris administration. You are 100% correct. I would say, combining two observations from both you and Chairman Bentz, who bears the cost of this? Every single one of us. And we just don't realize it. The one thing that we at this table and all of our agencies could do is a much better job of simply being honest with our customer base. Mr. Herrick, you and I have sat in many water board hearings over the years, and it's a unique group, but the general public does not know that in passing this regulation, you're not going to have water tomorrow or the next day. You can't turn on the tap. You mentioned the unimpaired flow regime, what the Water Board is currently considering for the Bay Delta Water Quality Control Plan, under the guise of Clean Water Act compliance, by the way. That could remove up to 50% of the water supply in the cities in the Bay Area. They don't even know it.
But the point is, we can change that, all of us together, the moment we summon the political will to do so. Thanks. Thank you. My time's expired.
Concur, and the solving the political will involves educating those people so that they know this isn't a free political vote. These people are choosing to cut off your water. Are you okay with that?